I left my mother to care for my wife after she gave birth. I came home early to get my phone, but what I heard and what I saw shattered my entire world and forced me to make a choice that no son should ever have to make. I forgot my phone and came home early. That's when I heard the crash. Then my mother's voice, sharp, cold, furious. "I told you, you're too delicate. You think you know everything because you're a doctor?" My wife Sophia's voice was barely a whisper. "I tried to bear it, Helen, but I think I'm depressed. I need help." Silence. Terrifying silence. Then my mother screamed, "Depressed? I gave up my life. I flew across the country to take care of your child and you're ungrateful?" The sound that followed will haunt me forever. A crack, sharp, wet. The sound of an open palm hitting flesh. I kicked the door open. Sophia was on the floor, tangled in sheets, holding her cheek, a red handprint already blooming on her pale skin. My mother stood over her, hand still raised, trembling. Our son Aaron screamed from his bassinet. "Mark," Mom whispered. A question, an excuse. I couldn't look at her. "Get out," I said quietly. "Mark, I didn't mean—" "Get out!" The scream tore from my throat. "Now!" She grabbed her purse and left. I lifted Aaron. He quieted against my chest. Sophia still hadn't moved from the floor. "Baby, let me see," I said, kneeling. She lowered her hand. The welts were stark, but her eyes were worse, empty, vacant. "I told her I was depressed," she whispered. "She said I was ungrateful." "I'm so sorry," I said. "I should never have left you alone with her." I reached to touch her face. She recoiled, scrambled backward until she hit the wall. "Don't touch me! Soph, it's me! I know who you are!" Her voice cracked. "You let this happen. Day after day you heard her. You said just let it go. You chose her." She was right. In my cowardice, I had chosen wrong. Let me back up, because the truth is, I should have seen this coming weeks before that moment. Should have recognized the patterns. Should have protected Sophia when it mattered most. Sophia and I had been married for 3 years when she got pregnant. We'd met in college. She was pre-med, I was in engineering, and built what I thought was a solid partnership. She became an OB-GYN. I became a project manager at a tech company in San Jose. We bought a small house in Mountain View with a postage stamp yard and talked about the future like it was something we could control. When Sophia found out she was pregnant, my mother called from Florida within an hour of us telling her. Mom had been widowed 2 years earlier when Dad died suddenly of a heart attack, and she'd been adrift ever since, alone in their retirement condo, playing bridge, volunteering at the library, existing. "I want to come help," she said immediately. "For the first 3 months, you'll need support." Sophia was hesitant. "Helen, that's incredibly generous, but—" "Nonsense. I raised Mark perfectly fine. I know what I'm doing." There it was, that edge, that assumption that her way was the only way. But Sophia was exhausted, her practice was demanding, and the idea of having help, even complicated help, seemed better than going it alone. "Okay," Sophia said. "Thank you." The first red flag came during month 7 of the pregnancy. Mom flew out for a week to help us prepare. She walked through our house with the scrutiny of a health inspector, opening cabinets, checking corners, running her finger along baseboards. "You'll need to deep clean everything before the baby comes," she announced. "Babies are fragile. Any dust, any mold, any bacteria." "Mom," I said carefully, "we keep a clean house." She looked at me like I'd suggested we raise Aaron in a dumpster. "Mark, you have no idea what you're talking about. When you were born, I scrubbed every surface with bleach twice a day for the first 6 months." Sophia and I exchanged glances. "Helen, that's actually not recommended anymore," Sophia said gently. "Too much sterilization can actually weaken a baby's immune system." "Oh, so now you're going to lecture me?" Mom's voice went cold. "You haven't even had a baby yet, Sophia." "I have. Successfully." Sophia's jaw tightened, but she said nothing. Later that night, she cried in our bedroom. "Mark, I don't know if I can handle 3 months of that." "She's just anxious," I said, holding her. "She'll relax once Aaron's here." I was wrong. Aaron was born on October 14th at 3:47 a.m. after 19 hours of labor. Sophia had an emergency C-section. When they finally let me hold him, 7 pounds, 2 ounces, with Sophia's dark eyes and my crooked nose, I thought I understood love for the first time. But Sophia was wrecked, physically and emotionally. The surgery had been rough. She'd lost more blood than expected. Her recovery was going to be slow. Mom arrived the day we brought Aaron home. She burst through the door with 3 suitcases, a box of cleaning supplies, and an air purifier. "Where's my grandson?" she demanded before even hugging me. I led her to the nursery. Aaron was sleeping in his bassinet, tiny and perfect. Mom's face softened. "Oh, Mark, he's beautiful." For a moment I thought everything would be okay. Then she turned to Sophia, who was moving slowly, still in pain from the incision. "You should be resting," Mom said sharply. "Why are you up?" "I'm fine, Helen. Just wanted to—" "You're not fine. You look exhausted. Go lie down. I'll take care of everything." It sounded like concern, but it felt like a command. Sophia hesitated, then nodded and retreated to our bedroom. That's when the pattern began. The first week, I chalked it up to adjustment. Mom took over everything: feeding schedules, diaper changes, laundry, cooking. She was a whirlwind of efficiency. But she was also everywhere, hovering, correcting, micromanaging. "You're holding him wrong," she'd say when Sophia tried to breastfeed. "That's not how you burp a baby," she'd snap when I'd pat Aaron's back. "You can't use that detergent. It has fragrances. Do you want him to develop allergies?" Sophia started withdrawing. She'd spend hours in our bedroom staring at the wall. When I asked if she was okay, she'd just nod and say, "I'm fine, just tired." But I knew better. I could see it in her eyes. The light was fading. By week 2, Mom had rearranged our entire house. The kitchen cabinets were reorganized properly. The nursery was cleaned daily with her special routine. She'd wake up at 5 a.m. to start laundry and wouldn't stop moving until 10 p.m. "Mom, you don't have to do all this," I said one morning as she scrubbed the kitchen counters for the 3rd time that day. "Yes, I do," she said without looking up. "You two clearly don't understand what it takes to keep a baby safe." "That's not fair." "Mark, I'm not criticizing. I'm helping. There's a difference." But it didn't feel like help. It felt like control. One night, Sophia tried to feed Aaron at 2 a.m. I woke up to find Mom in the nursery, taking him from Sophia's arms. "I'll do it," Mom said firmly. "You need sleep." "Helen, I want to feed my son." "You're too exhausted. You'll drop him. Go back to bed." Sophia stood there, arms empty, tears streaming down her face. I should have said something. I should have told my mother to back off. Instead, I put my arm around Sophia and led her back to bed. "She's just trying to help," I whispered. Sophia didn't respond. She just turned away from me and cried into her pillow. By week 4, Sophia wasn't eating. She'd lost 15 pounds. She barely spoke. She'd sit in the rocking chair in Aaron's room for hours, staring at nothing. I begged her to talk to me. "I think something's wrong," she finally said one night. "I don't feel right. I love Aaron, but I don't feel connected to him. I feel numb. I think I need to talk to someone." "Like a therapist?" I asked. She nodded. "Okay," I said. "Let's find you someone." But when I mentioned it to Mom the next morning, she exploded. "A therapist? For what?" "She's struggling, Mom. She thinks she might have postpartum depression." Mom's face twisted. "That's ridiculous. She's just tired. All new mothers are tired." I was tired. I didn't need a therapist. I just pushed through. "Mom, things are different now. We understand more about you're coddling her, Mark. She needs to toughen up. Having a baby is hard. That's life." I felt anger rising in my chest, but I swallowed it. "Mom, she's my wife. If she says she needs help, I'm gonna get her help." Mom's eyes went cold. "Fine, do what you want, but don't come crying to me when she uses this depression as an excuse to be a bad mother." I should have thrown her out right then. I found Sophia a therapist, Dr. Lauren Myers, a clinical psychologist specializing in postpartum mental health. Sophia had her first appointment over Zoom while Mom watched Aaron in the living room. Afterward, Sophia looked lighter, just slightly. "She thinks I have postpartum depression," Sophia said quietly. "She wants to start me on medication and see me twice a week." "Okay," I said. "Whatever you need." But Mom overheard. "Medication?" she said sharply. "You're going to pump yourself full of chemicals while you're breastfeeding?" "Helen, the medication is safe for breastfeeding," Sophia said wearily. Dr. Myers explained, "I don't care what some stranger told you. You're not thinking clearly. Mark, you need to talk sense into her." "Mom," I said firmly, "this isn't your decision." Her face hardened. "I'm just trying to protect my grandson. He's my son," Sophia said quietly, "and I'm his mother." Mom's laugh was cruel. "Are you? Because from where I'm standing, I'm doing all the actual mothering." Sophia flinched like she'd been slapped. I should have defended her, should have told my mother to leave. Instead, I said, "Mom, that's enough. Just enough to technically be on Sophia's side, not enough to actually stand up to my mother." Sophia looked at me with something I'd never seen before. Disappointment. Things got worse. Mom started making comments, little digs, constant criticisms. "Sophia, you're not supporting his head properly. You're feeding him too much. He's going to be overweight. Why are you crying again? You need to pull yourself together." Sophia stopped trying. She'd sit in the corner of the living room, silent, while Mom paraded Aaron around like a trophy. I told myself it was temporary, just a few more weeks. Then Mom would go back to Florida, and we'd figure things out. But I was lying to myself, because deep down I knew Sophia was breaking, and I was letting it happen. One morning, I found Sophia in the bathroom at 4 a.m., sitting on the floor, staring at the wall. "Soph?" I knelt beside her. "What's wrong?" "I don't think I'm supposed to be a mother," she whispered. "I don't think I'm good at it. Your mom is right. She's better at this than me." "That's not true." "Then why does Aaron stop crying the second she picks him up? Why does he fuss when I hold him?" "Because you're anxious. Babies can sense that. It doesn't mean, Mark, I'm failing. I can feel it." I held her while she cried, and I hated myself for not knowing what to say. The next day, I confronted Mom. "You need to ease up on Sophia," I said. "Ease up? I'm doing everything for you two. You're criticizing her constantly. She's struggling and you're making it worse." Mom's face went red. "I'm making it worse? I'm the only reason that baby is alive and healthy. If it were up to Sophia, he'd probably be in the hospital by now." "That's a horrible thing to say." "It's the truth. She's weak, Mark. She's always been weak. I don't know why you married her." I stared at my mother, really looked at her, and I saw it for the first time. She wasn't helping. She was competing. She was trying to replace Sophia. "You need to leave," I said quietly. "What?" "I want you to leave. Tomorrow." Her face twisted into something ugly. "Fine. Leave me to clean up your mess, then throw me away when I speak the truth, just like your father did." She stormed out. I stood there shaking. But the next morning, Sophia begged me to let Mom stay. "She's right," Sophia said flatly. "I'm not doing a good job. At least with her here, Aaron is taken care of. Soph, you're a great mother. Please, Mark, just let her stay. I can handle it." So I did. I backed down. I let my mother stay. And that decision led to the worst moment of my life. It happened on a Tuesday. I had a morning meeting in the office. I kissed Sophia goodbye. She was lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, and headed out. Halfway to work, I realized I'd left my phone on the kitchen counter. I turned around. When I walked into the house, I heard the crash, then my mother's voice, then Sophia's whisper, then the slap, and I kicked that door open and saw my mother standing over my wife. "I'm packing a bag," Sophia said after I'd thrown my mother out. "I'm taking Aaron and leaving. We'll go to Dave's," I said. My college roommate lived in Palo Alto. Tonight, we packed in silence. Aaron cried. Sophia moved like a ghost. As we loaded the car, she turned to me. "Mark, I need you to understand something. What happened today? That wasn't the first time." My blood went cold. "What?" "She's been rough with me for weeks, grabbing my arms, pushing me. Today was just the first time she hit me hard enough to leave a mark. I felt like I was going to vomit." "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because every time I tried, you defended her. You said she was just stressed. You told me to let it go, so I did. I let it go until I couldn't anymore." She was right. I'd failed her completely. We drove to Dave's house in silence. 3 days later, I turned my phone back on. 22 missed calls from Mom, dozens from family. The texts made my blood freeze. "Mom, she is turning you against me. She is unstable. She needs help. Aunt Carol, your mother is devastated. That girl has you wrapped around her finger. Dad's sister, Aunt Linda. Helen said Sophia attacked her first. She was just defending herself. You need to hear both sides. Uncle Jim, Mark, I know you love Sophia, but your mother wouldn't lie about something like this. Maybe Sophia's postpartum depression is worse than you think. She was lying, claiming Sophia attacked her. I walked into the guest room where Sophia was nursing Aaron. My mother is telling everyone you attacked her." Sophia laughed, a bitter, broken sound. "Of course she is." I created a group text. Mom, Aunt Carol, Aunt Linda, Uncle Jim, my cousins, me. I am turning my phone off for 1 week. Do not contact me or Sophia. To be clear, my mother physically assaulted my wife. She hit her. What she told you is a lie. If any of you contact us, I will file a restraining order. This is not negotiable. I hit send, then blocked them all. 72 days passed. Sophia was officially diagnosed with severe postpartum depression by Dr. Myers and a psychiatrist, Dr. Ramon Ortiz, who prescribed medication and weekly therapy. She started improving, slowly. The medication helped. The distance from my mother helped more. I became primary parent, shield, everything. Dave was a saint. He let us stay as long as we needed. He'd bring dinner home every night and play with Aaron while Sophia rested. "You're a good friend," I told him one night. "You'd do the same for me," he said simply. One morning, my phone rang. Dad's number, on Dave's phone. I hesitated, then answered. "Your mother collapsed," Dad said. "She's in the hospital. She's asking for you." I felt nothing, just cold emptiness. "Is she dying?" "No, but Mark, I think she's ready to listen." "I don't care if she's ready." "Mark," Sophia took the phone from my hand. "Mr. Johnson, if you want to talk to your son or meet your grandson, you'll agree to family therapy. Over Zoom. With my therapist, Dr. Myers. Yes or no?" Long pause. "Yes." "Okay." The session was brutal. Dr. Lauren Myers was in her early 50s, with gray-streaked hair and the kind eyes of someone who'd seen every version of human pain. She'd agreed to facilitate the family session pro bono after hearing our story. Mom and Dad joined from their laptop in Florida. Sophia and I sat together on Dave's couch, Aaron sleeping in a bassinet beside us. "Helen," Dr. Myers began, "can you tell me, in your own words, what happened on October 29th? Mom's face was puffy. She'd clearly been crying. I got upset. Sophia was being difficult. She was refusing help. She wasn't being a good mother, and I just— "Stop," Dr. Myers said firmly. "We're not debating reality. You struck your daughter-in-law. We're here to understand why, not to justify it." "Why?" Mom started crying. Different tears, broken tears. "She made me feel useless," Mom whispered. Dr. Myers leaned forward. "Can you explain that?" "I flew across the country to help. I gave up my life, my routine, my friends, and every single thing I did," she questioned. "She acted like I didn't know what I was doing, like I was some stranger." "Helen," Sophia said quietly, "I questioned you because you were undermining me. You wouldn't let me be a mother to my own son. I was trying to help. You were trying to replace me." Silence. Then Dad spoke for the first time. "My mother did the same thing to Helen. When Mark was born, she criticized everything Helen did. She said Helen was doing it all wrong. She made Helen feel worthless." I stared at Dad. "What?" "She hit Helen," Dad continued, his voice shaking. "More than once, when I wasn't around. Helen finally broke down and told me, and I confronted my mother. We didn't speak for 2 years. Mom was sobbing now. I told myself I'd never be her. I swore I'd never treat my daughter-in-law the way she treated me. But I became the monster. I became exactly what I hated." The room was thick with silence. Dr. Myers spoke gently. "Helen, recognizing that pattern is important, but it doesn't undo the harm. Mark, Sophia, how do you feel hearing this?" I looked at Sophia. She was crying softly. "Mom," I said carefully, "I'm not ready to forgive you. I don't know when I will be, but that's the first true thing you've said in months. What do you need from me?" Mom asked, her voice small. Sophia answered, "I need you to stop lying to your family. I need you to tell them the truth. And I need you to stay away from us until I say otherwise." "How long?" Mom whispered. "I don't know." 4 months passed. Sophia continued therapy. The medication helped her find stable ground. She started bonding with Aaron. I watched the light come back into her eyes piece by my peace. Mom sent letters, apologizing, explaining, never making excuses. Dr. Myers suggested we consider a second session, only if Sophia is ready, she emphasized. Sophia thought about it for 2 weeks. Finally, she said, okay, but on my terms. Last night, Mom called, voice shaking. I want to visit, to apologize in person, to see my grandson. When? I asked. This weekend. I've booked a hotel. Your father and I both want to make this right. I looked at Sophia. She was holding Aaron, watching me. She nodded. Just once. Okay, I said. Saturday, 2 p.m., 1 hour. Saturday came. The doorbell rang at exactly 2. I opened the door. Mom stood there, looking older, smaller. Dad behind her, his face drawn with guilt. She took one step inside, saw Sophia holding Aaron across the room. Sophia, Mom said, voice breaking. I am so sorry. For everything. I was wrong. I was cruel. Sophia held up her hand. Helen, before you say another word, there's something you need to see. She pulled out her phone, tapped the screen. A video started playing. Crystal clear audio. Mom's voice. Depressed? How dare you? I gave up my life for this. Sophia's voice. I'm trying to tell you I need help. The crack. The undeniable sound of the slap. Sophia's voice, trembling. Why did you hit me? Mom's voice. Because you deserve it, you ungrateful little bitch. The video stopped. Mom's face went white. Where did that come from? My baby monitor, Sophia said calmly. It records audio and video. I had it on my nightstand charging. It captured everything. I didn't know, obviously. Sophia's voice was ice. You told your family I attacked you. You called me unstable. You lied to everyone who would listen. Dad looked at Mom with horror. Helen, you said she pushed you first. I want to show you something else. Sophia interrupted. She pulled out a folder, thick with papers. These are screenshots of every text your family sent Mark, every lie you spread, every person you manipulated into thinking I was the problem. She spread them on the coffee table, page after page of venom. Aunt Carol, that woman has always been dramatic. Helen is a saint for putting up with her. Uncle Jim, I think Sophia might actually be dangerous. Helen sounded terrified on the phone. Cousin Rebecca, maybe Mark should consider getting custody if Sophia's really that unstable. Mom's face crumpled. And this, Sophia held up another document, perfectly formatted with legal letterhead, is a restraining order, already drafted by my attorney Jennifer Wu, who practices family law in Santa Clara County. She has the video. She has the screenshots. She has Dr. Myers' notes documenting my injuries and my diagnosis. All I have to do is sign it and file it, and you'll never be allowed within 500 feet of me or Aaron again. Mom started crying, real, ugly sobs. But, Sophia said quietly, Mark asked me not to file it, yet he said you deserved one chance. One, to prove you're actually sorry, to prove you're willing to change, to prove you'll never lie about me again. She looked directly at Mom. So here's what happens now. You sit down with Mark's entire family on a Zoom call tonight, 7 p.m. Pacific time, and you tell them the truth, all of it. You play this video. You admit you hit me. You admit you lied. You apologize to everyone you manipulated into believing your version of events. Or, Mom whispered, or I file this Monday morning at 9 a.m. and you never see your grandson again, ever. The room was silent, except for Mom's crying and the quiet hum of the refrigerator in the kitchen. Dad put his hand on Mom's shoulder. Helen, you have to do this. Okay, Mom finally said, her voice barely audible. I'll do it. I'll tell them everything. Good, Sophia said. She looked at me. Mark, can you set up the call? I nodded, pulling out my laptop. 7 p.m. came. One by one, family members joined the Zoom. Aunt Carol, Aunt Linda, Uncle Jim, Cousin Rebecca, Cousin Thomas, even some family friends who'd been pulled into the drama. 17 faces in little boxes, curious and confused. Thank you for joining, I said. Mom has something to tell you all. Mom's hands shook as she held Sophia's phone. She pressed play. The video played for everyone. The cruel words, the crack of the slap, Sophia's broken voice. Aunt Carol gasped. Uncle Jim looked sick. Cousin Rebecca's mouth fell open. When it ended, silence. I lied, Mom said, her voice breaking. I told you Sophia attacked me. She didn't. I hit her. She'd just had major surgery, was recovering from childbirth, was asking for help with her depression, and I hit her. Then I lied about it to all of you. Helen, Aunt Carol said slowly. How could you? I was wrong, Mom continued. I was cruel. I became the thing I swore I'd never be. My mother-in-law abused me when Mark was born. She hit me. She made me feel worthless. And instead of breaking that cycle, I repeated it. I became her. Dad's face crumpled on screen. Helen, I'm telling you this because Sophia could have destroyed me. She has legal grounds for a restraining order. She has proof that would hold up in any court. She's giving me one chance I don't deserve. Mom looked directly at the camera, tears streaming down her face. I'm sorry to Sophia, to Mark, to Aaron, and to all of you for making you complicit in my lies. I manipulated you. I played the victim, and I'm ashamed. The Zoom call erupted, voices talking over each other. Aunt Carol, I can't believe I said those things about Sophia. Uncle Jim, Helen, I defended you. I told Mark he was wrong. Cousin Rebecca, I'm so sorry, Sophia. I didn't know. I let them talk, let them process, let them realize they'd been weaponized. Finally, Sophia unmuted herself. I appreciate the apologies, she said calmly, but I need you all to understand something. Mark and I will decide if and when Helen gets to be part of our lives again. Some of you sent cruel messages. Some of you questioned my mental health. health. Some of you suggested Mark should leave me. I haven't forgotten that. Silence again. If you want to be part of Aaron's life, you'll respect our boundaries. You'll stop defending Helen's actions, and you'll never, ever question me as a mother again. Are we clear? One by one, they nodded. We're clear, Aunt Carol said quietly. Sophia, I'm so sorry. Sophia nodded once. Then she closed the laptop. Mom and Dad left shortly after. Mom was still crying. Dad looked 10 years older. As they walked to their car, Mom turned back. Sophia, will I ever get to know him? Sophia was standing in the doorway, holding Aaron, his tiny hand wrapped around her finger. I don't know, Helen. That depends entirely on you. Mom nodded. Got in the car. They drove away. I closed the door and turned to Sophia. You didn't have to give her that chance, I said quietly. Sophia looked at me, her eyes finally clear, finally strong. No, she said, but I needed your family to see exactly who she really is. So when I do file that restraining order, nobody will ever question why. She walked to the window, Aaron asleep against her chest, and looked out at the street where my mother's car had disappeared. How long? I asked. Before you file? She was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, I'll know when I'm ready. Maybe in a month, maybe in a year, maybe never. But it'll be my decision, not hers, not yours, mine. I walked up behind her and wrapped my arms around both of them. My wife, my son, my whole world. I'm so sorry, I whispered, for not protecting you sooner. I know, she said. And she leaned back into me, and we stood there together, watching the sun set through the window. For the first time in months, I felt like we might actually be okay. Aaron stirred, made a small sound, and settled back into sleep. And in that moment, I understood something I should have known from the beginning. The choice was never between my mother and my wife. It was between the lie I'd been telling myself, that I could keep everyone happy, and the truth Sophia had been trying to show me all along. Some families are born, others are built, and sometimes building means tearing down what came before. I'd spent months trying to honor the woman who raised me, but standing there, holding the family I'd chosen, I realized something my mother would never understand. Being a parent isn't about control, it's about letting go.